Hey, 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 man. Greetings, children of God. Peace and blessings, man. So, I got another word today, man. Hold up. I got another word today, man. Today's word is gonna be about why you don't sweat the small stuff, right? So, like I said, my videos are for because there's a lot of audiences out there, right? Like for me, I feel like I've been doing this so long, like this is kind of like common knowledge almost. But I still remember the times where like I didn't really know better, or like I don't know. It's like I wasn't always like this advanced in my mentality. So I just know, like, for the people that don't know for sure, the people that's what these videos are for, right? Even if nobody watched these videos, like these videos for me, and these videos is like for those who need it. It's gonna reach the right people whenever it gets a chance, right? So yeah, this word is gonna be about why you don't sweat the small stuff, right? And we're gonna start. So basically, right, why you don't sweat the small stuff, or like in my like what I'm gonna explain is like it's usually a like people like to say it's black and white. If you peel back the layers, it's never black and white, right? But if we're talking about surface level, everything is black and white, surface level, right? So I'm gonna say there's two ways, right? There's two things, right? So it's the small things, right? Like how you say don't sweat the small stuff, but there's what I'd say the uncontrollable, right? And then the controllable, right? So if you made a mistake, whereas like you knew better and things like that would be considered a controllable. But like the uncontrollables, like somebody rear-end you while you was just chilling in traffic, and nothing you could have done about that, you feel me? So that's what I'd call an uncontrollable, right? So basically this experience that we call life, right, that we all experience, who has it, we're gonna have some situations that we don't like, you know? It's by design. This is literally by design. All right, this is how God left the world to be. I'm sure it's not how He wanted it to be, but this is what He expected, and He knows what's going on. So, you know, as we go through life, there's uncontrollables, and then there are controllables. Things are always gonna happen to you. You know what I'm saying? If you're looking to get to a point in life where things don't happen to you, that's never gonna happen unless you're dead. You feel me? Unless you die and go to heaven, of course. Because if you die and go to hell, it's just another, you know what I'm saying? So, unless you die, the pain doesn't end. Unless you die and go to heaven, let me say that. Unless you die and go to heaven, the pain don't end. The suffering is never going to end. It literally says in the Bible that you must endure until the end. There's a reason why they say that, right? You know, it says that all over the Bible, but in Revelation they say you must endure to the end. Jesus said that. You must endure to the end. Because Jesus knew, God knew, there's going to be plenty of trials and plenty of suffering. It's by design, man. This is just the world we live in today, right? You know, for the modern conveniences we have, we've sacrificed and traded, you know, like the morals and morality that we used to have in the past, and like integrity and character traits like that. And for today, like now we have like just technology and superficial things, which I mean, not like we chose this, but this is the world we live in, right? This is an uncontrollable, like I said, right? So you don't sweat these things, man. Anything you cannot control, you never sweat something like that, right? So let me give you a few examples as I get deeper into this. So I'm not really trying to make this like too long of a video, honestly, but it might get long, I don't know, but I don't want to make this too long of a video. So yeah, like I was saying, I'm gonna give you some examples like of like uncontrollable situations. Like I gave you earlier, like somebody rear ends you or something like that. But now let me give you a situation of controllable. Here's why you shouldn't even sweat the controllable things. Not because, you know, like it's not deep or something like that, but the controllables, like you could have controlled that. You just gotta get smarter to avoid that, right? So let's say like I'm wilding, like I'm gonna use me for example. Like this actually happened to me, right? So when I first started working and getting money, because I never had money and things like that, and when I first started working, like at my first job, I would just spend all my bread. I was actually like contributing to bills at first, when I first started working as well. So I didn't really have money to like splurge that much, but the money that I did have to use, like I finally started getting money. So I finally started buying clothes. I finally started buying shoes and things like that. And obviously as a kid, you don't really think too much about where this money is really supposed to be going. You don't think about the future, like how you're supposed to, eventually live on your own and things like that. I'm just thinking about getting this money right now and getting the things that I ain't never had, you feel me? That's all I was worrying about at the time. So, like, this is what is gonna lead into like a controllable situation, right? So, if you're splurging all your money and then you find yourself to be broke, and then you over here like, damn man, like, I wish I had some money, like I ain't got no money to do this, I ain't got no money to do that, but you splurging your bread, you feel me? These are the things you have to be aware of and get that stuff sorted out, right? So if you got a spending habit, in this scenario, you gotta, you obviously don't know at first. Like nobody really knows at first, especially if you like grew up in poverty and you grew up with nothing really. Like I'm talking about like maybe a few pair of clothes for school, man, like maybe 1 or 2 pair of clothes for school. Type poverty, you know what I'm saying? So when you grow up like that, you don't really have. So when you finally start to get, it's like a different feeling. You don't really take into account where you're supposed to go with this money. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have a lot of people that come into that big blessing, but they screw it up but everything works in God's timing. God probably wasn't going to give you that blessing if you were too smart anyway. That's why he gave you all that money when you were stupid, because he knew you would do whatever with it, right? You just give it right back away, right? Man, it just started getting, it didn't just start getting hot, but it was already kind of hot, like I started getting like almost sweaty, so I had to take that joint off. But anyway though, what I was giving like examples and things like that, like when you first start getting money, you don't really know what to do with it, is basically what I'm trying to say. So these are like the controllables. These are the things that you get smart so that you avoid these things in the future. If you let things be a mistake the first time or the first few times, it's a mistake. But when you know and you know better, and you can actually obtain better, you can actually perform better, that's when you like do that, you know what I'm saying? Because that's when it's like more crucial, especially as you get older. Like your mind just matures. Like I can literally think about like just a year ago, I wasn't nearly as smart as I am now, and I was already very smart. You know what I'm saying? I was already awakening and blossoming and things like that. But I wasn't nearly as smart as I am now. Like, I literally get smarter every day. You know what I'm saying? Say you learn something new every day, I get better every day. You know what I'm saying? It's wherever you fail at, that's where you get better. You know what I'm saying? Like you went to the store too late because you was being lazy, and then they closed on you. Like that's something that's controllable. You feel me? But now if you're talking about uncontrollables, like that's why you don't sweat these things either, because this is by design, bro. This is how life is. When you go through life and you see a bunch of patterns, that's how you understand that there's cause and effect. You feel me? There's always cause and effect. There's everything is situational as well, right? There's always cause and effect, and everything is situational. So if you know in life, like you see that every time you show up to an interview in freaking basketball shorts and a tank top, you realize that you never get the job. But the one time that you showed up in a suit and tie, you actually did get the job. You feel me? So when you see certain patterns, you know that there's cause and effect. The cause of you not getting the job, it might not have just been, how you were dressed, but you can definitely infer that that's a factor, if nothing else. But that's a controllable right there. You know what I'm saying? You can figure that out. You figure these things out. Everything is about patterns. Everything is about cause and effect. For every situation that you're in, even if you don't know the reason, there's something that happens, Even if it's just behind the scenes, there's something that happens, right? Like life is always gonna have stressors, right? But it's like the way I live my life, I can't be stressed because I remember like fighting, going hard. It's like there's certain rules. You know how people come up with sayings and things like that? People come up with sayings because it attributes to the whole masses, bro. Like, there are certain rules that apply to everybody, you know what I'm saying? Or like, if you were born into a household that's like, you don't have your mother and father, you feel me, to raise you correctly, that's another thing. Like, there's gonna be a cause and then there's the effect, you feel me? So the cause is not having a mother, or the cause is not having a father to teach you better, and then the effect is how you turn out, you feel me? So that's what I mean when I say these things. Like, there's always gonna be cause and effect. There's always, everything is situational, and life is always gonna bring you problems. Life is always gonna bring you problems, you know what I'm saying? So if you're always stressing about your problems, you're never gonna figure out how to get over them. And you can't stress the small things when you figure out that everybody goes through these things, right? This is by design. This is how God designed this planet right now, you know what I'm saying? This is all by design. It's not like, oh, the world is picking on you. Like, oh, why is my car all of a sudden don't want to start this morning? Hey, man, just figure out the problem. And the things that you can't control, it's like, did your car give you like a bunch of signs on the dash talking about some, hey, go get this oil change and whatever, and then now you wondering why your engine is squeaking like that because you don't got no oil? Or is it because it just so happened to break down that day, you feel me? So certain things you can't control, you don't stress them things, right? And you don't even want to stress the things that you can control, because once it's done, it's already happened. You can't go back in time and change that, you feel me? You can't, you know what I'm saying? So these are just things to keep in mind. Like, life is not as difficult as people make it out to be. Like, don't get me wrong, life can be like annoying and all that. But when you figure these things out, like, you're not gonna stress certain things, and you're not gonna have a bad day off something like little, or off something, that one thing bad that happened to you all day or all week, and now it's gonna screw off your, you know what I'm saying? That's not how, you know what I'm saying? It's not that deep. But I understand that life is different for everybody in life, but life has certain properties that's the same for everybody, you know what I'm saying? Life is life for everybody, you know what I'm saying? You might see somebody living their best life, and that's how, like, you can, like, what I mean by patterns, it's just like the same thing, like, with everything. It's like, there's gonna be certain patterns that you can figure out. Like, if you see, like, if I walk into a place and I kind of see like 3 dudes masked up in the corner, kind of like, you know what I'm saying, looking like they might be ready to do some illegal activity, like, it's like, this is just how the world works. Like, you can notice patterns, because that's usually how people that do that stuff, that's how they come, you know what I'm saying? Or just other things, like, if I'm talking to somebody, or if I'm with a homie or something, and he just start freaking like pop locking, dropping in public in broad day. Not like you should be doing that in private, but I'm saying, especially if you a homie, like, come on, if you a dude, like, but I'm just saying, just for an example, you know, this ain't got nothing to do with me, but just for an example, if you're if you with your homie, he just start pop locking, dropping, and let's say I'm the stranger looking at y'all, I'm just like, I'm kind of gonna understand the type of dude this dude is, and he could be a cool, chill dude and nothing and all that. But if you pop locking, dropping, like, I kind of understand that these are the patterns that I'm talking about, like red flags. They're red flags for a reason, you know what I'm saying? You don't ever take a chance with a red flag, especially if it's a deal breaker. You know what I'm saying? You don't never take no chance with no red flag. But anyway, man, this is the video, man. That's pretty much the video. Why you don't sweat the small things, the uncontrollables and controllables, and things like that, man. And just get through life, do better, understand where you fail, and get better in that area, and you will always improve and continually get better at whatever it is you're trying to get better at, even if it's just understanding, you know what I'm saying? So I pray that y'all like the video, man. Peace and blessings, and praise God.